Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the Automobile Show, and I'm your host, Saint Masu. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not moving with us, you're snoozing, and if you're snoozing, you definitely are losing. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that the show is actually giving out 1,000 rand to one of you lucky subscribers. The only thing that you have to do is actually subscribe, take a screenshot, post it on your Instagram story and tag me, Saint Masubu, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you will be officially entered into the competition. The competition winner will be announced after we actually just reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So the reason we're actually doing this is actually to bless one of you guys for actually following us and supporting us with the work that we do. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and on my left, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that we have not only the performance guru guys and girls there, but this guy, his work is literally known around the whole world, if I may say, literally. Let me welcome Mr. Ish. How are you, sir?
Good, man. I'm well, thank you.
I'm good, man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
No problem. Thank you for welcoming us into your space, and I mean, it's amazing for us that we actually got an opportunity to be around your place. So I see here you got a Ferrari Diablo. Is it one of your favorite cars?
One of my favorite cars, the Lambo Diablo has always been the childhood poster, you know. Growing up, those were the posters we would get and stick them up in our room and hope and pray one day to own one or work on one, you know. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
Exactly. So let's get down to the order of business. So we actually like to know, when did Power Performance actually start, sir?
So I've been in the industry from the age of 15. Been working for my dad. My dad was a pioneer back in the day, in the late 80s. He owned a company called K&N Performance Exhaust. He was a legend, still a legend. And we then moved over our business from town because it was getting a bit unsafe, you know.
So where was it?
It was actually first in Marshall Street.
Marshall Street.
168 Marshall Street, downtown. So at the time, we made the transition to Fordsburg because of the crime, and it was becoming a bit unsafe for the guys to bring their cars down that side. So we moved to Fordsburg, and when we moved to Fordsburg, we then had changed the name over to Powerpipes. Okay. And it was during that period when I actually stepped into the business and started working together with my dad.
So at that time, what kind of cars were you guys working on? Because it was...
So when I started working for my dad, our popular cars were the BMW E33 25s. Nice. My dad had like the signature setup on them, and everybody would come to the shop flocking in numbers for that tone, you know.
Exactly.
So the E30s were popular. It's still popular. We still do a lot of them on a monthly basis. And then we were working on like Golf 1s, Golf 2s, Golf 3s. And then at that time, we slowly transitioned into the Golf 4, which was a turbo application. And then the BMW E46, the 320Ds, the 330Ds. And then eventually, of course, the 135s. The turbo generation actually then stepped foot.
So for people who don't know what's a turbo actually?
So a turbocharger is it's an additional part that you fit onto your engine, which allows the process of intaking air and exhaling that air through the exhaust on a faster application. It actually boosts the air, giving you that rush, that feeling. Basically the whole cycle of your performance gets improved with a turbocharger.
So putting a turbocharger actually also means like I'm also upgrading my horsepower as well.
Definitely. Doing a turbocharger in your car will upgrade your horsepower tremendously. It's the cheat code that many manufacturers have found out now. You don't really need a big engine like back in the day where you'd need like a V12 or V10 engine to get the car to perform. Nowadays, you can just get a normal 2-liter engine, pop a turbo on it, do some modifications on it, and your kilowatts basically become as even as a big engine V8 car would have.
So how does it usually happen that a turbo blows a car's gasket?
So when we look at turbo failure, there's many other factors that actually surround it, you know. The first one being the catalytic converter, which is installed on the stock downpipes. These catalytic converters aren't made to last forever. Okay. So it's basically they install a filter next to the turbo. When this filter gets old, it gets blocked. When it gets blocked, it doesn't allow the pressure to escape throughout the exhaust, and then you have an increase of back pressure towards the turbo, and then you find the turbo starts it starts affecting the weak spots of the turbo, like the seals and gaskets, and of course the actual shaft, and then furthermore the impeller and so forth. So any restriction along your exhaust system will cause damage to the turbo and to the engine. So that's why it's very important to regularly check your exhaust and also to upgrade it.
Nice.
For your safety.
For someone who actually wants more speed in their car, what would you recommend to them? Would you say that they rather have a horsepower, or actually, I mean not a horsepower, actually a supercharged conversion, or get a turbo? So
I would recommend the turbo over supercharger. Some guys like the supercharger because it has a nice whipple type of a sound. Some applications, it's also much easier to put on a supercharger than a turbocharger in terms of reliability, you know. So it all depends. You know, I always ask my clients this question: what is the purpose for this car? What do you, or where's the end game? What do you want it to be? You know. Okay. So I say that if you have a secondary car, and I would advise you to rather turbocharge your car then, but don't take a normal aspirated daily car and go and turbocharge it and rely on that car to give you reliability, because it won't. Rather have a second car and then use that car to play with and do your mods on there, and have one reliable car as well. Not saying that a turbo conversion is not reliable, it's just that for daily driving, it will require a little bit more maintenance compared to your normal car that's been used on a daily application.
So going back to Power Performance Pipe, that name, how did it come about? So, because as it was changed from K&M.
So K&N, when we moved over to Fordsburg, we changed over the name, and then we came up with the name Powerpipes. It was a much easier name to come off your tongue, you know. And then, yeah, it was just a matter of us now marketing this name, because everybody had known my dad as K&N, and Powerpipes is like, who's this, you know? Yeah. So that's when I actually decided to then go onto the social media platform. At that time, Facebook was just launched. Yeah. And then I would take pictures of what we do in the shop, and then of course post them on a regular basis. Okay. Just to get our name out there. And of course, at the time, we were also sponsoring a few cars, you know, with our stickers on there. So the whole purpose was to get the Powerpipes name and for it to become a household name. Well, actually, that was, thinking about it, that's what we actually always wanted it to be a household name. And we are grateful that now it is, or has become a household name, you know. But it just comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. Yeah.
So how many branches does Powerpipes have in South Africa? So we have, if not in South Africa, the whole country. So we have 2 branches. We have a branch in Fordsburg. That's the first branch. And I've then recently opened this branch now here in Kailami on the beginning of this year in January. Nice. So the shop's now running 10 months strong. That's amazing. It's always been a dream for me growing up to be in Kailami because of the racetrack. And I'm just so ever grateful. God's been really great to me that He's given me this location right next to the track. So the auto art, where does it come about?
So ever since growing up as a young kid, I would watch like MTV and I'd watch like Pump My Ride and stuff. And then I'd see how these guys would transform a car from A to Z, you know? So it's always been my end game. I didn't only want to focus on exhaust systems. I want to also put my fingers into other things. I have a certain style and a certain way of doing things. My OCD and my pedanticness actually gets me a long way. So I wanted to try and incorporate a little bit of body styling together with interior styling and performance. So that's where the word auto art comes from. So we call it Powerpipes Auto Art. So the Auto Art word is just so that you know that whatever we do here, we do it like art, you know, whether it's our exhaust systems or whether it's a wrap on your car or a custom wheel that we design or build for you. At the end of the day, it must be art.
Okay. So now as we've introduced the wrapping cars, as we're approaching now, you can see there's windy wrap. So now, do you think there's going to be more clientele of people wanting to paint their cars or wrap their cars because of why there's a windy wrap now? Instead of changing your paint of your car, you can actually preserve it for a longer period of time.
So there's a lot of new products on the market nowadays. Normal vinyl wrap's been quite popular. Now we have paint protection film also in a series of colors. So the thing is, guys buy new cars and they want to protect them.
What do you mean in a series of colors?
So you get your normal vinyl wrap in a whole lot of colors that basically you apply onto your car's exterior and then you change the color, right? Yeah. But this wrap is not a protective wrap, you know. It can get scratched and it can also get damaged, and then you of course have to redo the part that's damaged. However, we have a new product now called paint protection film. Okay. So it's actually not a new product, it's been long in the market. It's actually a clear film which the guys apply onto their new cars to protect it from stone chips. Oh. So the PPF companies that manufacture this have now gone an extra step forward in actually making this PPF film in a series of colors compared to it just being clear. So they make a matte version, they make a high gloss black version. So the reason for that is if you wanna change the color of your car and also at the same time protect it, then I would recommend you go for a colored PPF because that's going to give you protection on your paint and of course it's going to give you a new color.
So when you remove the wrap, isn't there any after effects that like you see probably with the old cars? Because I used to see the old police cars. Once someone has bought an old police van, you could see the stripes there, which okay, there used to be a sticker here that's written police and all those things.
Yeah.
So when you remove a wrap, does that sticker?
So it all depends on how you remove it. A lot of care is taken when removing a wrap, especially when it's been on a car for a long time, because the adhesive, the glue that the wrap has could potentially pull off a clear or the paint actually from the car. Okay. So it's very, very important that you remove the wrap correctly. So we've done that before. We've never had any issues of clears peeling or paint peeling. It's just a mere process of removing it. It's got to be done the right way in order for that not to happen. If you're a bit rough and tough and try to pull it off just like that, then definitely you're going to pull off paint and stuff.
I understand. So now with the, what you going to call it? Now to the real order of business, which is Downpipe, which is what you actually, the shop is well known for.
Yeah.
What is Downpipe?
So, like I mentioned, when the transition came in from normal aspirated cars to turbocharged cars, back in the day, when I started in this industry, the terminology downpipe was not around. You know, no one used the word downpipe. People would use the word branches, or people would use the word free flow. But we see that the stock cars have these catalysts, which is the filters attached to the stock downpipes, and then we found that these catalysts restrict the flow, restrict the sound. So by us then, of course, doing some more research and development, we were able to make downpipes, bolt-on downpipes off shelf for the popular cars like the 135s or the Golf 5 GTIs or the Polo 1.4 GTIs and so forth. And then we found when changing the downpipe on the car gave the car better sound and a little bit more better power, it was good value for money. Yeah. And this is when people realized that, look, I've got a new BM, I've got a new Audi, or I've got a new Golf GTI or M3, whatever the case, and just adding a downpipe is going to give me a better for sound and more power. And the fact that we had these things, or we have these things ready-made off the shelf, made it much easier to install. So it would take around 45 minutes to an hour to install a downpipe. So this is how we kind of capitalize in the market to be more efficient and to basically deliver a product much quicker.
So what are the difference between the downpipes? Because we usually hear terms like stage 1, stage 2.
So every tuner has his own way of staging cars, or any performance shop. So the way I look at it is, if you got a new car and if you want stage 1, stage 1 would require maybe just a downpipe, just a downpipe with an air filter.
Just a downpipe, that means you take out everything that's stock with the car, and then you...
Basically, you're only taking out just the first part of the exhaust, which is the downpipe and the most restrictive part. So changing that and putting in an aftermarket downpipe that has no restriction would basically then throw you under like a stage 1 category, And then furthermore, if you wanted to add...
Can I just ask, with that stage 1, does it also improve my horsepower?
Yes, it does. So that's where, when we started developing downpipes, is when I actually bought my first dyno machine. And the purpose for that was because I wanted to prove power to my clients once their work was done on the car. The fact that we called ourselves Powerpipes, we needed to prove how much power was in our pipes, So doing dyno runs with a few different designs of downpipes is how we actually concluded to the right downpipe for the right sound and the right power.
So now, what's the difference between a cat back and an axle back?
So when you talk of a cat back is very popular on the internet and in European countries and so forth, because they're actually very strict when it comes to removing the catalyst on the car. Okay. Now, to give you a little bit of information, a catalyst is basically a filter that converts your carbon dioxide into oxide, making your fumes that come out the exhaust a bit more friendly to the environment. Okay. So basically, they're trying to curb down global warming and harmful gases for the earth. So that's why these filters were put onto your cars. So they don't tell you, like any filter, these things get old, and when they get old, they create problems.
I understand. So now...
So when you talk of a catback, sorry, I don't answer your question. When you talk of a catback is basically when you build an exhaust system from after the catback, meaning that you do not interfere with the cat, you leave the cat in place, and then you do the exhaust from the cat back,
And that's definitely going to affect the sound.
Doing a catback on your car will give you more for sound and more power, So some guys, when they come to me and we're sitting down and we're discussing their builds, then I like to pose a question for them. What is it you're looking for? Why did you come to see me? Do you want more sound? Do you want more power? And if the car is a new car and the client doesn't want to risk taking out his downpipe, then we do a catback, because that'll keep his stock cat in place, stock sensors in place, no warning lights, no trigger lights, and then of course, just do an exhaust from the catback just so that he can get a better sound.
I understand. So now, for a car to perform from probably 500 horsepower to 600 horsepower, what would I have to do? So
you gotta upgrade.
Like let's say I come with my C63 AMG.
Yeah. So if you wanna add 100 horsepower to your car, definitely upgrading the turbo on your C63 would make that power. If your car is normal aspirated, it would be more difficult. You probably have to add an additional supercharger on that car to get that power. But if your car's, say for example, the latest C63, the V8 bi-turbo, and you want to make power from it, then we're going to do a downpipe, we're going to do a full exhaust, we're going to do software, we're going to do an intake, and this should give you that power.
And usually how much would I have spent on all of that though?
So to do that type of conversion, you're looking at about 100K.
100K for 100 horsepower. That's amazing. And that 100 horsepower literally makes a difference.
Definitely makes a difference. Talking from it firsthand, I believe that when you upgrade your car, it's just that it feels like you have a new car. Yeah. So if you got your car for like 5 years and you're kind of bored of it, know that we can upgrade it so that you can enjoy it for the next 5 years to come.
I understand. So now, with the way Powerpipes have been moving, as you said, it's been 10 months since you've opened the shop. How many cars have you worked in this shop in the past 10 months? So
we've worked on quite a lot of cars. On average, we work on about 30 to 40 cars a month.
A month.
Yeah, but it's all round. So it's not only exhaust related work. You get a car in for a tint, or you get a car in for a wrap, or you get a car in for interior work. So it's a lot of different cars that come in. But we're really enjoying it. And more than anything, I have a lot of clients all around Africa, Zambia, Ghana, Tanzania, Mozambique. And these clients always put up to challenges. You know, they want exhaust systems for their cars. So we actually have to go the extra mile in delivering the stuff to them. I also send exhaust internationally. I have shipped my exhaust systems to Germany, to Croatia, to Lebanon, to to the States as well, to the UK. So guys out there have also recognized us globally, which is ultimately my end goal.
So given a chance to work with one of the auto car manufacturers, probably in Germany or Italy or British, which companies would you work with?
I would really like to work with BMW or Ferrari. They are my two favorite brands. I think I resonate very good with the brand itself. Familiar with the brand, love the brand. And our majority is BMWs here. Exactly. So it seems as if like they love it here.
They love BMW actually, yeah, I understand. So now, as you can see, the world is actually revolving, and now we're trying to cut carbon emission and all that. And so now, car manufacturers are actually moving into electrical energies, like the new Lamborghini Revolta. It uses energy and also electric and what you call it?
Yeah, it's actually a hybrid, so it's got an engine and it's got an electric motor. Yeah. Going forward, look. I know it's a little bit of a tough one for us because with the electric cars coming into place, there won't be many exhaust systems to be built. But I don't have any of loss or any thought that we won't still be in business, because the car guys and car-minded guys will always have a petrol car, and any car guy would definitely choose a petrol-sounding car over electric car. So, yeah, we're going to be in business for all of that. Yeah.
I understand. So now, do you like also do probably like Bakkies and all that? So if you were to be introduced into rally sports racing, would you have a interest into also entering the sports as well?
Yeah, look, we love all types of cars. Anything with the engine, 4 wheels, 2 wheels, we got you. Yeah. So Bakkies are also becoming very popular in our market as well. I have a Bakkie myself, which I use every day. It's a Ford Ranger 2-liter bi-turbo, awesome vehicle. We do manufacture exhaust systems for the specific car. We do for the Hilux as well. We make for the Fortuners also. We do a really, really mean system that actually sounds very deep and throaty for the Bakkie. So Bakkie owners, we got you too.
As well. So if you were to probably represent South Africa in probably one of the shows like SEMA or Gravity, which show would you think would you be more interested into?
My goal would be to be in SEMA one day. You know, it's ultimately a show that I would like to exhibit. Yeah. Just to show the world that what we're capable of doing here in South Africa and what we have to offer, and to introduce to the market internationally that we are open to shipping to anywhere in the world.
So would it be like taking your car, shipping your car to that side so they can actually see the kind of work, or actually just the type of work that
it's most of the stuff is product based. Having a car there on display with our product in to kind of like demonstrate our work would be ultimately the goal. But yeah, a car and a lot of product would be good so that the guys can see our work firsthand and see how we do things.
And then which car would you say represents the shop?
So the purple F80 M3, which has been our mascot for quite some time now. I bought the car brand new in 2018. She's been our mascot. She's been our face of the company. A lot of people had gained a lot of respect for us. So a lot of guys have gained a little bit more respect and seen that we are a bit more professional with the cars that we drive and what we're using and what we're working on. So our F80 M3 has pulled a lot of strings for us.
For someone who actually would like to actually own an F80, but now they can't afford it, so their option would be to go to a scrapyard and try and restore one. Would you recommend that for one?
I wouldn't recommend a restoration from a scrapyard because as much as we think, look, it might work out a bit cheaper, it might take longer, and also you'll be posed with many headaches, you know, looking for parts and so forth, and the car wouldn't be right. I would always tell a lot of guys, start small, but dream big. So work and live within your means and work yourself up, but don't give up and never stop dreaming because you'll definitely own what you want one day.
Nice. So in the next coming 5 years, where do we see Powerpipes also at?
So if you ask me in 5 years time where I'd like to be, where my brand would like to be, I'd like to have dealers all over the world stocking my product. So that's my goal. I'd also like to have another branch in Cape Town soon. And also one in Durban, just so that we cover the entire of South Africa. But yeah, I think in 5 years' time, I'd like to have my online store a bit more active, and I'd like my product to be touching all four corners of the world.
I understand. And then do you have another hobby outside of cars?
So cars has been my life. It's always been my life. I really don't have time to focus on anything else, you know. Working on cars might look easy, might seem easy, but you gotta have a certain level of patience to deal with it. Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with cars and they're guys, you know, guys love their cars more than they love their wives. So you gotta make sure that you're hands-on, you know, and that's what I believe, and that's what my father has taught me, to be hands-on in business, to take the bull by the horns and make sure that you see things firsthand before the client sees it. You know, a lot of people say like, why are you worried about what your exhaust looks like underneath? Because no one sees it. Yeah. I'm like, no, but I see it before it goes, so it has to look good. Exactly. So that's my kind of concept in business.
Then in your 3-car garage, what's your favorite cars actually? Like if you were to have a 3-car garage, which cars would you?
So I definitely get an F8 Spider.
Nice.
F8 Spider in either white or yellow would be one of my cars there. And then of course a BMW has to be there. And then Bugatti, bro.
A Bugatti.
Yeah, everyone wants a Bugatti, you know, because it's the fastest and, you know, most expensive. So yeah, Bugatti would be good.
Yes. So now for a young kid at home watching the show right now, what would you advise them to start their tuning if they're tuning for something actually big, but they see with the goals and the opportunities are actually slim? How would you advise them?
So what I'll tell the youth out there is to never give up. You know, pray and have hope, because if you pray and you have hope and you have dreams and you set goals, you'll definitely achieve them. Put your mind to it. Don't get distracted. Focus on what you want and definitely you'll get it. Manifest it, think about it, write it down, draw a picture of it, stick it up on your wall, see it every day, think about it every day. Remember what your mind can create great things if you put your mind to it.
Oh, that's nice, that's nice. Ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to call that a wrap, because wow, and it's been actually more educating experience being with Mr. Hishamm, also known as Mr. Ish. So everyone, if you can just follow Mr. Ish and just check out the work that he does, because wow, Power Performance is actually a powerhouse, literally, guys. Hear me say it. And yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Automobile Show.